Salam alaikum everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Good to be back. Today I'm going to do the pregnancy tag video and I am exactly 27 weeks today, alhamdulillah. So I'm just going to get straight to it. I've got the questions in front of me, so let's see. So I took the pregnancy test the exact day that my period was due, which was the 8th of April 2013, and that was the day that I got my positive test. Well, I felt a real mixture of things. Obviously I was really happy. I was incredibly surprised because I really didn't think that month was going to be our month. I thought the chances were incredibly low, and so I was really surprised to get a positive test. But because my husband and I had suffered a loss a couple of months before, it was a kind of a bittersweet feeling, because obviously you're overjoyed and overwhelmed to be pregnant, but you cannot avoid the fact that you feel this kind of nervousness and anxiety from the very first moment. So I was really happy, was really excited, but it was kind of slightly overshadowed, if you like, by the things that we'd experienced before. Well, I was and still am 28, so it's a bit later in my life than I had necessarily imagined that I would have a child, but who cares? I didn't do anything creative or romantic or anything like that at all. My husband works in a building where he doesn't get any reception when he's at work, so I took the pregnancy test first thing in the morning. He was already at work. I couldn't call him, so I had to wait until I knew he was on a break. So when I did actually call him, he was sitting around a table with all of his work colleagues having breakfast. So I knew he wasn't going to have like an overwhelming, exciting reaction, because he was probably be too embarrassed and wouldn't want to say. So I just told him the news over the phone, really, and there was nothing particularly special about it. And he had a very subdued kind of reaction. So it was, in a sense, it was a little bit of an anticlimax, because I'd been sitting there quite excited, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to deliver the news in the way that maybe I'd hoped to. But I'm also an incredibly impatient person, so I couldn't wait until the end of the day. I had to tell him like the second I'd found out. For the majority of people, yes, we did. I told a couple of very close friends. I actually waited until I was 7 weeks pregnant before I told my mum, and my husband's family also. Again, because of things that had happened to us in the past, we just felt that we really wanted to keep that to ourselves for as long as possible. I did share the news after my 12-week scan, kind of a bit more widely, but even then it hasn't been something that I've wanted to kind of go out of my way to publicise, just until I felt that I was at a stage where I felt a little bit more comfortable to do that. Yes, it will be our first child, inshallah. So that's really exciting, because who knows what we've got ahead of us and who knows what to expect. So being your first baby makes it really exciting, but also really daunting. Want more kids? Absolutely. I've always wanted a big family. I mean, when I say big, I don't mean like crazy amounts of children, but I'm one of 3, so I think that's quite a nice number. I'd quite like to have roughly around that number of children. Hubby is a little bit more practical, so he says, you know, 1 or 2 would be enough, but I'll work on that. I don't necessarily feel like I've had any specific cravings. I haven't had any of those situations where I've like woken up in the middle of the night and been desperate to eat strawberries or something like that. If only, actually, because if anything, the main thing that I've craved has been junk food, which is not a good thing at all. I don't know if any of you know of Sam's Chicken, which is like the halal version of KFC, but there's a particular burger from there, and whew, there's been so many times when I've just been absolutely desperate for it. Subway has been another one, just generally like, and chocolate. But I mean, I wouldn't say that they're huge cravings. I think that I've just made a really poor excuse for eating a lot of rubbish, which I am trying to overcome as we speak. I would say that the best part about being pregnant is the hope that it brings, that anticipation and that hope for a new life. And you know, I dream every single day, you know, I daydream about what I'm going to do with my baby, you know, the life that I want my child to have, all the hopes that I have for my baby. And I think also one of the best parts about being pregnant is being able to feel the baby inside of me. Like, as soon as I hit the point that I could feel movement, everything became so much more real. And it's so incredible to feel that connection to something that you know is growing inside of you. And there's been a few like occasions when maybe I've been sitting or lying with my husband and have like felt his pulse or his heartbeat on, like, in one hand, and felt the baby kicking inside of me, and that sort of like connection between the three of us like is just really overwhelming. I would say the tiredness has been one of the things that I found really difficult, particularly in the beginning, like just feeling exhausted all of the time. That has got a bit better, but I still I struggle with my energy levels quite a bit. I suppose for me, I've struggled more than I expected to with the changes in my body, and I thought that I'd be so excited to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and actually I seem to have got bigger in all of the wrong places, and it's depressed me no end at times. I think that the feeling that you are not in control over your body, and that your body is not your own anymore, is actually more daunting and more distressing than I had realised. And although I knew I was never going to be one of these really glamorous pregnant women that carried it off really, really well, but there have been times when I have just really felt incredibly unattractive and miserable about how my body has changed. I'm sure that I will go up and down with that and go through phases, and when the baby's here I probably won't even care. Well, I am 27 weeks, so I have already found out the gender. I didn't really have a preference prior to knowing, but everyone in the world was telling me I was having a boy, so I'd kind of geared myself up for having a boy, and I hadn't really thought about anything else other than that. I'm not going to share with you just yet whether I'm having a boy or a girl, but like most people say, really all we wanted was a happy and healthy baby, and gender is kind of irrelevant. We do have a name picked out, which I will share with you another time. Both the names we had two names picked out, one for a boy and one for a girl, and both of them were connected to people in my husband's family who had passed away. One of the names was after my husband's brother, and one of the names was after my husband's mum. So they are really, really special, important names to us. They hold a lot of significance and a lot of meaning, particularly for him. And he'd always said to me that whatever gender of child he had, he wanted to name his firstborn after either his mother or his brother. When we had the 20-week scan and we found out the gender of the baby, and we kind of turned to each other and spoke about, okay, so what are we going to call the baby? It was incredibly emotional, and I feel really, really overwhelmed and really sad in a way that I'm not going to be able to share this child with either of those people. So it's really, it feels really special that we can name our child after one of them. And I really kind of respect and appreciate that. And they wouldn't necessarily have been my choices of name in the beginning, but the meaning behind it is so much more that I know it will hold great significance within our family. Well, my birth plan at the moment is to absolutely avoid at all costs thinking about the birth in any way, shape or form. It isn't something that I've given a huge amount of thought to. I know that I would really like to have a natural birth, inshallah, if I can handle it. Let's see what I'm really made of. But I really don't want to have any drugs. If at all possible. I'd like to be as active as possible during labour. I really love the idea of a birthing pool. My husband is completely paranoid about it because he thinks we're going to drown the baby. I've tried to explain that the baby is already swimming in a huge pool of water. But this is men for you, they don't know what they're talking about. Yes, inshallah, I absolutely intend to breastfeed. I'm really excited about the prospect of breastfeeding. I think it's a beautiful natural thing to do, and I feel that it's going to really help me to bond with the baby, and I'm sure it's going to come with its challenges. I know that not everybody has an easy time with it, and I will do my best, and I will do it for as long as I can do it, and we shall see how it goes. But inshallah, it is my intention to breastfeed. I think I spoke about this in my last video, but it is a very big dilemma for me, and I am still fairly undecided, and I think I've come to the conclusion to stop overanalyzing it, stop thinking about it, and just roll with it and see what happens. I absolutely don't want to work full time, I know that. And I know that I want my family and my child to be my main focus and my main priority, but I think that I will see how I feel a few months into maternity leave and see where the wind takes me. Who thinks about these things already? Like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of those little jars of stuff. I haven't even looked into this really, but I'm sure, like, I wish for my child to be much healthier than I am. So anything processed from day one, I really want to just encourage as much healthy eating as possible. And I really don't want to have fussy eater children. So I guess I would like my child to kind of eat what we eat, just in liquidized mushy mash version. Well, I'm not the most creative person when it comes to interior design, and I'm not one of those people who's got the like natural flair for putting rooms and things together. So I wouldn't go as far as to say that I've got a theme, but I don't want wishy-washy colours. So I don't want the baby pinks or the baby blues or the like soft like coochie coo, because my baby is going to be half Algerian, and anyone who knows Algerians knows that they are far from wishy-washy and baby this or baby that. Bold, strong and fiery would be the words that spring to mind. So whatever colours we go for, I want them to be strong colours, and I'd really love them to have a little bit of a North African influence. And I want the room to be just a nice space and an Islamic space in a sense. Like, I want it to feel like just a soothing kind of spiritual sort of space with nice bright colours and nice things on the wall, and nice lighting. But in terms of the finer details, we shall see. So that's it for all the questions. I hope that wasn't too dull and boring for you. But if you have any other questions that you want to ask me about the pregnancy or how I'm feeling about things or anything that hasn't been covered in the tag, then please do put some questions in the comments section below, and I will make I'll make a follow-up video answering any of them. So don't forget to thumbs up the video and leave me some lovely comments. I really would like to get to know you all a bit more.